We all love food, right? It's not just about nutrition. It's about connection, enjoyment, and even celebrating life. Sharing a meal with loved ones, savoring a favorite dish, these are things that bring us joy and make us feel, well, human. But imagine being told you can't eat the foods you love, that you have to stick to a highly restrictive diet, maybe even pureed food or thickened liquids because of your dysphagia. It's tough, and understandably, sometimes patients flat out decline this recommendation. They want that cheeseburger, those fries, their coffee, that piece of cake. They want to feel human again. They want a sense of normalcy and comfort that might feel like it's a million miles away with the food they are being told to eat. Hi, I'm Teresa Richard. I've been a medical speech pathologist since 2008. I'm a board-certified specialist in swallowing and swallowing disorders, and I'm the founder and CEO of the MedSLP Collective and MedSLP Education. Author of the best-selling book, So You're Having Trouble Swallowing, and host of the Swallow Your Pride podcast, which has over 5 million downloads. Welcome, I am so glad you are here. What is a diet waiver? In short, it's a form that says, okay, fine, eat what you want, but if something happens, it's on you. And don't come running to us when it inevitably does happen. Doesn't that sound like the worst form of care we should be providing? So should we even be using diet waivers? Let's get straight to the point. No. SLPs and healthcare facilities should not be using diet waivers. Diet waivers might seem like an easy way to avoid responsibility, but they often don't hold up in court. More and more, healthcare is moving towards a patient-centered approach. This means respecting patients' autonomy and involving them in the decision-making process. Novel concept, right? Think about it this way. Let's say a patient was diagnosed with a heart condition, and that patient told the doctor he understood the risks, but preferred not to take medication because of its side effects, or preferred to eat a diet that was the arch nemesis of heart healthy. In response to this, imagine the doctor said, "Fine with me, it's not my heart. Please sign this waiver saying that I'm not responsible for what happens to you because I told you what to do and you just don't listen." Would that be ethical? No. It's the same with dysphagia. We have a responsibility to educate and guide our patients, not shift the blame. So what's the alternative? Patient-centered care. It's about truly collaborating with your patients. Educate them. Explain the risks in layman's terms. Clear language that's easy to understand, show them the swallow study results, and answer their questions honestly. Then, listen to their concerns and preferences. After we talk to the patient, and most importantly, listen to them, maybe we'll find they're willing to try thickened liquids if it means they can still enjoy some of their favorite foods with modifications. Maybe they're willing to try pureed food as long as it's temporary and as long as we can reevaluate the swallow in a couple of weeks. Or maybe they understand the risks but prioritize quality of life over absolute safety. It's about finding a balance, and that requires open communication, mutual respect, and recognition of the patient's autonomy and their ability to choose. An SLP was once working with a patient who had a history of strokes. He was so tired of pureed food, he was practically in tears over it. He was worried he was going to lose weight because he couldn't even stand the sight of it. The SLP also talked to him about the risks, but also his preferences. He explained all about his love of food and how miserable he was on the restricted diet. The SLP and patient worked out a compromise where he could have some regular textures with very close supervision, as long as he could show he was able to effectively utilize the compensatory strategies he was trained on. It wasn't perfect, and we couldn't guarantee absolute safety, but it was his decision, and he was so much happier. And honestly, so was the SLP, because she felt like she truly helped this patient instead of telling him what he absolutely can or cannot have. Remember, it's about empowering patients to make informed choices, not dictating to them. And good documentation is key. Documentation is everything. What you discussed, the options you presented, the patient's concerns, their understanding of the risks, and their final decision. This protects both of you in the long run. I'll be sharing more helpful videos like this soon, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out. I'd love to hear your questions about diet waivers, so leave a comment below and let's chat. Plus, there's a free resource waiting for you at the end of this video. Keep going so you don't miss out. Answering tough questions. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what if they still sue? What if they refuse all my recommendations? This all sounds so time-consuming. How will I ever have time for all of this? Okay, but what if they still have concerns? Honestly, that's always a possibility, but good documentation and a clear patient-centered approach will put you in a much stronger position if there ever is a lawsuit. I know someone who was once part of a lawsuit after a patient died from a choking incident. This SLP had her documentation in order. She documented every discussion she had with the patient and the entire interdisciplinary team in great detail. She showed that this was not a her versus the patient situation. Instead, she demonstrated that she was working with the patient, discussing options, recommending a myriad of choices, and educating the patient on both the risks and the benefits of the different options. It turned out she was not held liable for what happened to her patient, and she is still practicing and helping patients today. What if they refuse all of my recommendations? Then document that and keep the door open for further discussion. Sometimes patients just need time to process. This all sounds so time-consuming. Well, it can be, but building trust and empowering patients leads to better outcomes in the long run. It's about investing in your patient's well-being and building strong relationships. Isn't that what's most important anyway? Isn't that what our work is all about? And trust me, the process gets easier and faster the more you do it. Ethical practice protects both you and your patients. By choosing collaboration over coercion, you are providing the best possible care and upholding the values of our profession. Let me tell you about a seasoned SLP who always prioritized patient-centered care. She believed in thorough communication and shared decision-making. She once worked with a patient who, despite the SLP's careful explanations of the risks of aspiration and choking, insisted on a regular diet. She meticulously documented their conversations, the risks and benefits, the patient's understanding of the risks, and the alternative options provided. When the patient sadly developed aspiration pneumonia, the SLP's detailed notes demonstrated her commitment to ethical practice and patient autonomy. While the situation was heartbreaking, her documentation protected her from liability and reinforced the importance of a collaborative approach. She knew that building trust and focusing on a patient-centered approach, even when they disagreed with her recommendations, was crucial for the patient and the type of SLP she wanted to be. I have something special for you. Visit medslpcollective.com to receive the free MedSLP Collective Clipboard Kit, which is like having a clinical assistant right there in your pocket. I also included a free resource on health literacy that helps the SLP with guidelines for creating accessible written and verbal instructions to the patient. And while you're there, explore our resources and don't forget to join our amazing community of SLPs. It's a great place to connect, learn, and grow. Click the link in the description to get started.